Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Now, today I'm joined by the amazing Wes Forsythe. Wes, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing just great, thank you.
It is quite an honor to have you here. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Scarefest. I'm very excited about this event. You've been a part of Scarefest for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do for them?
Sure. I've been started going to the con, I think starting with their second year. And then I went as a vendor a couple times, and then next thing you know, I'm a volunteer and I'm doing their podcast for when we started an actual audio podcast back in God, I don't know, 10 years ago. But anyway, when the new owners bought it out, Brandon Griffith, he wanted me to take and start doing videos. So Scarefest TV was born. Technically, though, I am their media director. That is my job title. Basically, all that means is that I've got certain departments that are under me that the film festival, of course, media check-in, and I'm help with the seminar department. I kind of team lead, if you will, the everything that'll be going on the second floor of the convention center, except for the photo ops this year. And that's pretty much the majority of what I do. Other than now at the convention, I'm the guy that puts out fires. When things go wrong, they come and find me and say, "What do we do?" And I try to do that. I try to keep any problems that we have under the radar of the fans. And I think we do a pretty good job of it.
And with the amount of cons that we've luckily been a guest at or ones that we've gone to, there's definitely fires that always need putting out. So I do not envy you and the struggle that you have to do with putting these fires out. So we know that you've been doing it since the second year. What year is this for Scarefest?
16. 16. Would have been 17, but damn COVID.
Yeah, sons of bitches. We'll count it as 17. I don't care. But like I said, this is amazing because you look at the guest lineup that you guys have, and also, like I said, the film festival, which is also so amazing. You know, we all love to go and we love to watch the indie films, and because we've always said that the indie filmmakers, they do this as a passion project. They're not trying to make money. They're really trying to get your eyes on their product. So,
right.
Have you worked the film festival in the past?
This is probably my 5th year doing it. I forget what year. The first year I went in, I really didn't do much. Brandon did 99% of it. But then when the convention came, I was the one thrown in the fire because of all the things that didn't get done, because it's impossible for one person to do all that. So then he turned it over to me, and then I assembled a team basically to help me get to judge it and turn all the emotion and the normal politics that you would see in a film festival. I turned it into a math problem, basically. But I just wanted it simple and fair. And I think I've been running it officially for about 4 years now.
That's awesome, man. And like I said, we love coming and we love meeting the celebrities. And this year, you guys have an amazing celebrity lineup.
When you have 100 celebrities, it's hard not to have something to keep everybody happy.
Right. And it's, on top of that, you have the film festival. So where exactly is Scarefest located at?
Okay, now, of course, we're in Lexington, Kentucky. We're at the Central Bank Center is the name of it. Right, everybody knows it as Rupp Arena. It's next door to Rupp Arena. But that's where we were at October 18th through 20th this year. We're pretty well settled on the 3rd weekend of October for the foreseeable future. We got switched that date, actually. We got shoved to that date when they were remodeling the convention center, and we weren't sure we were going to like it. But the very first time we used those dates, our crowd damn near doubled. People were in the Halloween mood. They were that October mood, and so we took it and ran with it.
As you should have, because like I said, that's when people are going to be the most excited to do this type of thing. Now, a lot of us are horror fans all year round, but there are other people that love to get into it during the Halloween season, and what better time to go out and do that? So We've talked about the film festival side of it, and the celebrity side of it is also something where there's a lot of fires that got to get put out. Not mostly because of the celebrities, but there are people that are inappropriate. There are things that happen that can make people uncomfortable. If you can talk about it, have you had an instance like that at Scarefest where you've had to really put your foot down and make things happen?
The answer is on the celebrity side of it, no, because that is just not my department. We have a Adam Johnson. He runs logistics now, but the security department's under him. He's got stories that he can share. Of course, Adrian is our show manager, and so she kind of runs the minutia of Celebrity Row. But fortunately, that is one thing that I've just not had to deal with are the quirks of celebrities or of the fans trying to take advantage of the celebrities. About the most I've ever had to do is tell people to put their cameras away at the VIP party.
Sure, sure. And I didn't say it at the beginning, guys, but I do want to remind you we have the links for Scarefest down in the description, as well as for Scarefest TV right down in the description, guys. So make sure you guys are checking all this out. Now we know this is the 16th, should be 17th annual Scarefest, and you got involved in year 2. What made this con so special that you wanted to continue to work with these guys?
Okay. Well, what my saying is, my cliche about it is, if you come to Scarefest long enough, someone will give you a job. That's kind of how I feel about it. But honestly, I got into it. I was not so much a horror fan. I mean, I love movies, don't get me wrong, but didn't ever really zoned in on horror. But I got into it because of the paranormal side of the convention. We've always carried the tagline, Scarefest Horror and Paranormal Convention. But 16 years ago, we were one of the biggest in the country. And for several years there, we were the biggest paranormal convention. That was really a focus of our convention. But the horror side of it, there's always been the two sides. Over the years, that has just grown and grown because horror fandom reaches its roots into such a large, passionate number of people. So we've kind of lost that shine, but we always have a lot of paranormal guests. We have great seminars. We're still a big paranormal convention. We're just not known for it. But that's what got me going. Is that was my interest and the horror side of it, and I was doing podcast, basically for paranormal, and I talked to Patty Starr, and next thing you know, Scarefest Radio is born. And so I did that for a couple of years, and then the Griffiths took over, and he wanted to go, and he was right. Everything was going video, so I jumped over and started doing video for him, and that's where we are now.
And you talked about, your love of the paranormal, and you started this because of paranormal. For people that have never been to Scarefest, how much of the paranormal side do you guys still do out there?
Our math of it now this year we're a little kiltered. Up until this year, we always tried to devote 10% of the convention to paranormal. Now that doesn't sound like a lot until you realize when you're talking 30,000 people last year, that's 3,000 people that are there just for the paranormal side of it. Our vendors, I'd say it's even a larger percentage of our vendors have something to do with the paranormal, whether it's crystals or Wiccan stuff or whatever, books. Now in our seminars, generally, those are the people that want to speak. I'd say in our seminars, 50% or greater are devoted to paranormal or such topics.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, whenever people think of conventions, it's usually, celebrity guests, and then we think about the film festivals, but the vendors are such a huge integral part of what makes a film festival special. And that's something we always want to point out to people because, meeting the celebrities, it really is amazing. These people we've grown up idolizing or people we've gotten to work with through podcasts, and we finally get to meet them and shake their hands, and watching these indie films and watching people's dreams come true of having their films, on the screen finally in front of an audience of people. But these vendors are taking the time to come out here and show you all the amazing work they've done, the amazing merchandise they've made, the collections they've done that they're trying to part with now. It's always very special to watch these vendors do their thing. And you talked about crystals and stuff like that. Are there any ways that people can come to Scarefest and have like readings done or anything that?
Yeah, there'll be people there doing readings. I won't even try to go into it, but if you want to look at, if you go to scarefestweekend.com, there is either the link, we've changed it a couple times, either say interactive map or vendors, but you can actually see a list of everybody that'll be there. Now, one thing that's important to point out, excuse me, we are is known as a curated show. That means we handpick our vendors. Now, a lot of them you'll see from last year, but we're loyal. We let our vendors come back, but then we take and fill in. And the new vendors that you'll see there this year, we handpicked. We said, okay, that's a great idea. That's a great thing to be doing, to have in our, so you'll get an eclectic mix, if you will. A lot of variety. We try not to have, 20 t-shirt vendors. We try not to have everybody selling bobbleheads. And then on the paranormal side, I think the last number I heard, 6 or 7 vendors or readers, we call them, were approved. So yeah, on the floor, 250 vendors, but there will be 6 or 7 people that are actually there doing some type of psychic reading, whether it's tarot or where they throw the little bones on the table or whatever. And astrology. I know I'm pretty sure we have an astrologist coming.
And yeah, paranormal and horror go hand in hand. And to see a convention that really wants to focus on both sides of this horror aspect of, because like I said, and I'm not trying to quote a movie, but, Paranormal Activity is something that we've all, to some degree, have some knowledge of.
It's actually, I'm gonna only partially disagree with you, because and it surprised me, but I've learned over the years now, the paranormal fans love horror movies. That's 100%. They very rarely will you find somebody who's really into the paranormal, that unless it's, I guess, a metaphysical side. Some of them don't like it. But as far as your people to go stomp around dark buildings, pay money to go ghost hunt at Waverly Hills, those people love horror movies. A large chunk of the horror community, though, you would think they would really be excited about the paranormal, but they're not. They just I have a friend. One year we had authors submit short stories for a book we put out, and I was talking to one of them, and he wrote a ghost story, and he does not believe in ghosts. He does not care about ghosts. They're not on his radar. So we do have some of that, but they do complement each other very well, especially that time of year, because it's about the hair standing up on the back of your neck.
Right. And so have you guys ever thought about doing any type of, not even through Scarefest weekend maybe, but with you and your love of the paranormal, any type of paranormal tours or anything like that?
Well, now this year we have brought back, we used to have them about every year because Patty Star in the previous owner was so big in the paranormal field. But now it got, honestly, for a big city that is famously haunted, Lexington has very few venues that are welcoming to having a big ghost hunt, celebrity-led ghost hunt. We are having one this year. Dave Schrader and Rob Thompson we're hosting a celebrity ghost hunt. Now, it's only a few hours. It's not some big, overnight excursion, but it is, it's a celebrity experience, and you get to go with the place we got. It's called the Lexington Natural Science something. But I've been to it, and it is just a fascinating building. And it's got I just found out it has a nice little cemetery in the backyard. So
even better.
Yeah, even better. So we've got that. But yeah, as a matter of fact, we're even talking now to kind of clean up our image on the paranormal side, if you will. We're thinking about putting on a separate paranormal convention sometime during the year, much smaller than Scarefest, obviously, but something to appeal and show those fans that we are still serious about it.
And like I said, I love the putting them together. I do think that's amazing. But I would love to see just a regular paranormal festival as well. And like I said, as somebody that loves horror movies, love the paranormal, I think that they, like you said it best, they complement each other. They do go hand in hand. It's kind of like peas and carrots, or lamb and tuna fish, if you will. But when you have these two things that are so closely knit, I love to see these two communities come together. Because I talked earlier about the celebrities are great, the vendors are great, the movies are great. The best thing to me about these conventions is all the fans and the community that comes out to
Mm-hmm.
these. And you've gotten people from all different walks of life that do all these different things that are all coming together as family to have a great time and visit this horror convention. And 17 years in, like I said, I'm gonna say 17. Is this one of those things where it just gets better and better every year?
Um, the answer is yes, with a disclaimer. We kind of leveled off from about Scarefest the 7th year through the 10th year. We'd hit a number that we were just kind of we're
Mhm.
bouncing pretty close to it, up years, down years. So Brandon, he really wondered if that was going to be our fan base, if that was all Lexington could pull. And so then the one thing that happened the year of COVID was it kind of gave him a breather where he really sat down and learned internet marketing, came up with
Yes.
some new plans on how to get the word out. It always amazed me in Lexington. We would walk around the block to buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and people would say, "What's going on?" And we'd say, "Well, Scarefest weekend is going on." And they go, "Scarefest? What's that?" People
Ah,
in Lexington did not know what it was. So
that's a killer.
he basically we figured out we have to do two things: engage the fans all year. That's my job. And
Mhm.
Brandon goes out and I mean he has really mastered internet marketing to make sure people know that we're there. And now last year we had guests for or fans come in from every state in the country.
That's fantastic. Like, I'm not being facetious or anything. That's actually amazing. You think about the impact that horror has and the fact that you guys are able to draw in fans from all 50
Mm-hmm.
states. That's an incredible thing. And that shows not only the amazing things that you guys are doing, but the hard work you're putting into it. Because people are like, oh, internet marketing, you're clicking buttons. And no, internet marketing is extremely hard to be able to find the right avenues. If it was easy, everybody would do it, but to
Exactly.
be able to know the exact way to do it, to get into an algorithm where you're hitting the right people, it is extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, all the kudos in the world to you and Brandon and what you guys are doing out there at Scarefest. And like I said, guys, I do have the links for Scarefest and Scarefest TV down in the description. So if you can, Ashley and I also will be there on October 19th and 20th. Make sure you're there all weekend, but come out and find us on the last 2 days. We are media guests. We will be doing some interviews. We'd love to talk to you guys. We'd love to shake your guys' hands as well. Wes, please don't go anywhere, my friend. I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Everyone else, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. Follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are in the description. And make sure you're clicking these links so you can get your tickets to Scarefest, as well as check out Scarefest TV. I promise you, you're going to have a great time with both of those things. So until next time, everybody, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.